Hey Hardin County, this is Michelle Labus. Sorry, it's real bright outside, but I'm just jumping on here real quick to give a quick update on the article in the Kenton Times as far as the health department. They talked about the root addition sewer system, and the commissioners allocated $750,000 to Eldridge Lane. They have a packaged sewer system out there. I think there's 12 houses out there maybe, and then Reed Road, which is more in the southern part of, more towards Bell Center. There's a small group of houses there that also has a packaged sewer system, and so they, about $350,000 each. They replaced those in their entirety. That was completed at the end of 2024. And as far as I know, there are fees collected from the homeowners to provide maintenance for those package systems. What happens is that a developer comes in and they build those houses, and then they put in the sewer plant, and then they gift that sewer plant back to the county for maintenance, because they have to be maintained by a certified sanitarium or I forget what the name is, but that's currently Luke Underwood. He's the engineer. So he goes out and they clean them and they inspect them and they maintenance them. And so there are fees collected from the houses there. And out of the 2 sewer plants, there's about 24 houses that are serviced, which I don't know. I did ask about the fees. I mean, it's maybe $30 or $40 a month for these fees, which covers the maintenance and the cost of like the labor, but it doesn't at all cover replacement costs. So, from an outsider looking in, it appears that each of these 24 houses, was gifted, like, I forget what the numbers were, like $25,000 for a new sewer system, because they didn't have to pay to have that replaced. We paid for it out of COVID money. And so the idea that Root Addition, which also has a packaged sewer plant, now they have more houses and it is a bigger system out there. The last I knew, it was not going to last forever. They were having, to do a lot of maintenance on it, but it wasn't at end of life. So I don't know if some of this is discussion on the city of Kenton part, where they're saying, hey, we need to get funding lined up to build, so we need a new water plant, a new sewer plant's coming down the road, that if those houses annex in, I think they have to pay for the lines out to, so you're talking about Root Addition and Myers Addition. They would have to pay to get the lines out there and get all hooked up to it, and then they can be annexed into the city, and then the city will take the final product and maintenance and then provide services to those 2 areas, but they would have to cover the cost. Now, is the county commissioners going to cover that cost out of the general fund? I mean, they use ARPA money to do the other one, so it would seem that, if they're going to start making that a precedence, everybody, I would like to have $25,000 given to my household so that we could support our new water and wastewater system. So, I mean, if that's the precedence we're going to hold for Hardin County, that's a pretty big ask on their part. So I have no idea. I haven't heard anything as far as, this is the first time I've heard a department talk about it. I've had other conversations with people about regionalization of the sewers and those kinds of things. But other than that, it is a package plan out there. What they're going to do, are they going to annex, are they not? That's really up to them. And it wouldn't just be, annexing isn't just the water or the sewer. I mean, it's your taxes. They would be part of Kenton officially at that point. And the other thing is, I know Myers Addition, they are on wells and septics out there, and they are already on the watch list for the EPA because there is raw sewage being pumped into the ditches, and So it's going to have to be a thing that is addressed fairly quickly when the EPA says, hey, something has to be done. So the sooner you can get on to start these conversations, to get the ball rolling, the better it is, because when the EPA comes in, they give you deadlines and they give you time frames and those kinds of things. So I hope this gives you a little bit of extra information as far as what those package plants are. Like I said, we've already spent $750,000 on 24 homes, and I think the expectation should be, if those homes should not only pay for the maintenance of their sewer system, but should be collecting a fund to do the replacement of those sewer systems instead of putting it back onto the taxpayers, because we essentially all paid, yeah, it came from ARPA money, but in the future, when those systems need to be replaced again, they last 60 years. It's just out of taxpayer money that got paid for. And so very much encourage the engineer's office, because they're the ones who set the fees, to go ahead and build in a 60-year replacement fee for those homes so that we don't have this situation again. And I'm not sure, we'll keep an eye on what they're going to do out at Myers and Root Addition, but a lot's going on with these infrastructure projects. All right, see you later.